The new LEGO Ninjago magazine just released, and it's basically the first time that it doesn't include the minifigure. Instead, we get a huge buildable Zane Mech. But is this worth the increased price of €8? We'll find that out in this video and also take a quick look at the preview of the next magazine. But first, let's take a quick look into this magazine. As always, we'll start our tour through the magazine on the first page with the overview, but this time we get a special here. On the other page we get to see the evolution of Zane's outfits, with many of the different minifigures that he got throughout the years. On the next page we get even more content for Zane with the information about the extra, but like I said before, I'm going to talk about that later on. After that we get the building instructions for the extra, which are quite huge, since this model consists of 99 pieces. Then we get the rest of the instruction and some ads, and after that we get right into the comic, which I'm going to skip as always. We got the usual break of puzzles and ads, and then the comic continues. After that we get even more information about Zane and some of the different vehicles he used, and also some highlights of him from the show. Then we get some more puzzles, then we get a game, and after that we get to the interesting part. The next magazine will include the third Dragon Ninja we got this year in the magazine, and it will be near. So make sure you are subscribed so you don't miss my video about that magazine once it releases. Before we get to the extras, let's take a quick look at the two posters that are included in this magazine. The first poster shows the evolution of Ryu, and on the other side we can see Zane with a couple of his minifigures and vehicles from Dragon's Rising. The first extra of this magazine is the limited edition Coal trading card. It is in the newer style of the trading cards since it's part of Series 11. Compared to the previous limited edition Coal trading card, they definitely have some similarities, but overall I definitely prefer the newer design. The design is the same as the Kai trading card we've gotten at the beginning of this year. Overall it's a really nice card, and I definitely like the foiling on these cards a lot. Now let's get to the real extra of this magazine, the Zane Mech. So let me build him real quick and then we can take a closer look. And here he is. The build definitely took longer than I expected, and he is quite a big figure. Overall, the construction is pretty solid and this is a really stable build. The articulation on the legs is really good with 2 ball joints. Of course no knee joints, but in that size that is definitely nothing uncommon. The arms however only got 1 ball joint at the shoulder, and the elbow is a hinge, which makes the articulation especially of the hands a bit harder. This construction got exactly 1 printed piece, which is the head, and it's also the only exclusive part of that build, and this is currently going for around €1. To determine the overall value of this is quite hard, since it is never sold individually online. And the only place we ever gotten this mech was as part of the Ultra Combiner mech, which is quite a large set. So based on the amount of parts, it is probably around €6 to €10. In comparison to the other extras we've gotten in recent history, this is definitely something drastically different. But value-wise, it can definitely not hold up with some of the minifigures, since minifigures are always a lot more expensive than builds. This is the same thing we've already seen with the LEGO Star Wars magazine, where the mini builds are just not worth it. In this case it is a really huge build, but it is still no minifigure. And that brings us to the question if this magazine is actually worth it. It is really hard to determine the exact value of this build, but we definitely have to consider that this magazine is €2 more expensive than the normal one. I think you'll probably break around even in terms of value, and this is definitely the easiest way to get this build, since otherwise you either have to build the whole set or get your hands on the individual parts, which will probably come with a lot of shipping costs. So buying this magazine is definitely not a bad idea if you want to get this mech. But is buying the LEGO Star Wars magazine also a good idea? You can find that out by watching the video that's on screen right now, and until then, have a great day.